Living unfixed is just a journey, a lifelong journey that I will have to take on, but all I can do is live life to the fullest.
I was ready to live poor and happy. I didn't expect to live poor and happy with cancer. What I'm most surprised about is that I'm poor and happy with cancer.
It can be really, really variable, the way that life kind of presents itself with a chronic illness.
There's days where talking is difficult, eating.
My body's attacking my own organs.
Drinking beverages of any kind, hot or cold.
Your body just goes under attack.
I just feel like I wake up with half a tank of gas.
Severe pain, intestinal bleeding.
Sometimes I have trouble walking.
Like cracking and drying and bleeding.
When it's firing off the nerves, the trigeminal nerves are triggering down the face.
It's like being electrocuted.
Tasered in the face.
Like I'm actually touching a live wire.
Motor tics is when, as you can see, my body moves freely. Freely. I have no control over my nerves.
Asthma attacks are really scary. Asthma is very scary.
I start to have headaches and I start to lose focus in school, and sometimes it just makes me really, really tired.
Going through what I go through on a daily basis makes me realize just how strong I really am.
Some days are better, some days are worse.
It's been a lot of trial and error.
And not to mention, it makes you feel really out of control.
You bet my mind is fine, but my body is messed up.
My head throws itself back and forth like so, and it gives me major headaches.
So I'm basically trapped in my own body.
You can imagine a little of what it's like to be in my skin.
You know, it's a hard thing to convey to people because, you know, it doesn't really look like there's anything wrong with me.
And again, these are flare-ups.
When I have a flare-up.
As of right now, I have a really bad flare-up.
It's hard to convey that you're not feeling well on days that you look perfectly normal.
It's really hard to share because I look healthy, I look normal.
Just because someone looks well on the outside, the inside is a different story.
Usually the best thing with any of these symptoms is just to find a quiet place.
I found myself isolating myself away from my family,
where there's not a lot of stimulation.
My muscles will go weak sometimes when I experience sudden bursts of emotion.
Essentially die. I've been revived twice.
I had lost a lot of the sensation to my legs and essentially the left side of my body.
Not being able to move but feeling everything is a unique experience, to say the least.
I hate more than anything that my disease affects more than just me.
One of the things that I think has been a blessing during this time is that I've had to rely on my husband a lot. I think that this has actually brought us closer, and for a lot of people, this may push you apart.
It teaches my daughter how to be more caring, and she's a very compassionate little girl, so that's really awesome.
Friends and family, they're just been people, particularly upon my diagnosis, that really showed up for me in a really extraordinary way.
It's definitely shifted my outlook to realize that those aren't really things that aren't necessarily drawbacks.
The biggest positive for me living unfixed is that I have been able to connect with people that I would have never otherwise had the opportunity to connect with.
I'm not alone.
One of my greatest strengths was my strength, and I no longer that's no longer one of my strengths.
Having my mortality on the label of the chemo that I take every day has made me consider what truly matters.
Had to just learn to be a little bit more compassionate with myself.
Being unfixed is difficult and hard, and those words seem light to kind of describe it.
The biggest challenge that I faced having MdDS and vestibular migraines is the amount of loss that I've experienced in such a short amount of time. I lost a lot of friendships and freedom and independence, and I lost my identity, self-worth.
Once I finally accepted myself and my Tourette's, I feel as though my life has changed.
Through the last year of my life, I've been picking up these broken pieces and realizing that it's made an absolute beautiful mosaic. And I have learned so much about my strength and my resiliency.
I have learned how important it is to finally fall into love with this good body of mine that has carried me through 62 years of good times and bad, and stayed with me and held me and kept the heart going and kept the breath coming in and out. So I'm coming to this late, but it's awful nice to fall in love with my body.
I used to cope by avoiding my unpleasant sensations by moving my body. Since I can't move my body hardly, I can practice more meditation with equanimity of sensations.
I will say that I have a lot of body awareness.
One positive thing that has come out of this whole experience is my connection to my body.
Every time I am aware of fear arising, it is an opportunity to reorient myself from the false identity of my small self clinging to survival, to experience the deeper truth of who I am, strengthen my faith, and grow through my challenges by replacing my fear of death with love for existence, of which I will always be a part.
And I've gotten a lot better at being all right with doing what I can do right now and making that be okay.
Facing some of the demons that I think we all go through and deal with at one point or another.
And if anything, this injury has led me to realize that I am really intelligent and kind.
I see pretty wild. I mean, that's like living in the Picasso painting.
I'm very grateful for the new outlook that I have on life.
Not saying that you have to find the strength, but you should find the strength, because you need something to balance all the chaos in your body, and there's nothing better than balancing your mind to kind of get yourself through it.
One positive that I can take away from this is my strength to fight.
I know I can get through this.
It does give me a connection to other people who know what it's like to kind of live abnormally.
And that's actually really been a blessing in my life.
Honestly, it's just a great thing to be able to motivate and inspire other people with Tourette's and without Tourette's, because I know that everybody sometimes just needs a little uplifting.
It feels good to have a space where I'm encouraged to talk about how this has affected my life.
In an odd way, this condition has kind of changed me for the better.
It's a strange mix to be in this place. It really is.
For the first time in my life, I really like who I am, and I think I owe that in part to living an unfixed life and continuing to deal with a chronic illness. Thanks for hearing my story.